And the steamboats, this is the farthest they went up to Missouri, and the farthest they went up to Yellowstone was Colson. And they built Billings End, and they used Colson as a dump. So with that, we'll go on to, this is the Museum of the Upper Missouri, and we'll let you just wander through. The fort, it was for if someone tried to get in. These are 14-foot high walls. You could fire a cannon down this way or this way, and the other blockhouse could do the other two walls. Buffalo hide. This is what ran the Industrial Revolution in the United States. Is the hides off the buffalo. They would take them out here if they weren't made into robes that you could use in your buggy or your sleigh or whatever, or on your bed. They were turned into belts. So in this area and one other area, we were up over 90,000. Make you feel bad. Sorry. What? These are my guns. The other curator before me came and stole. They're 54s, except this one's a 44. Yeah. My mother was great friends with.
When we were in Shelby, when we were at like the actual massacre site, it was just interesting because like the land that we were on is like a historical land, and not a lot of people get to experience that. And having someone come and explain like the story that they were told over years and getting just to hear that firsthand was really amazing. And how he never once like had a bitter feeling. Mr. Weatherwax never had a bitter like feeling about the event. He was very like straight to the point and like honest.
Reading the book and going to the site really helped me make connections more and like understand more, and it also helped my friends understand more, which is good. Oh, I liked it. I liked it a lot. A lot of epiphanies, a lot of eye-openers. Like, I could just like picture like natives just walking into the trading posts and like being scared of them, and like worrying about my children, hearing the children, and just like their mindset pretty much. It helped me connect with the soldiers more.
There was also a sweat lodge there, and that helped explain when Fool's Crow was in there and how much he was in there and what it looked like, because I didn't think that's what it looked like.
So when we went to the Fort Benton Museum, it helped me picture a lot of the events in the book, especially the Sundance sculpture when Fool's Crow had to go through the sacrifice for the Sundance.
The blockhouses at the Fort Benton Museum, you could definitely tell when you went inside that even though it was a lot smaller because the people were smaller, they definitely were armed and ready for an attack. There were windows on all sides, and it was pretty heavily, like, it was really well built, so it could withstand a lot of stuff, and I feel like they really were very fearful of the natives.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting to see a part of literature, come to life, quite literally. It's interesting to see, although it is a replica, it's interesting to see a fort that was illustrated in the novel that that they went and signed the treaty to a non-aggression pact, or what General Sully wanted them to do, and go catch Owl Child and bring back as many white horses as they can. And it's really interesting to see such a post that basically distributed the white culture into a native world.
So at the massacre site, I was just trying to like put myself in their shoes, and like I just like started running, and I was like, I could just like picture like people pointing their guns at me in my own home. Like that's how it would feel, even though it's like a big land, like that's their home. And that would be scary, like being a young girl and not having your older brother or your husband or your dad to protect you when that's all that you've ever known. And just, that was just sad and scary. When he talked about how he went to Vietnam and like his general was trying to make him do the same thing, and like he thought of that story and he didn't do it, he went with a different plan because he knew like how that would affect those people. That was pretty big, and like how he explained how they killed the children, how they were like intoxicated, and how he could forgive. Like that's really good. Like he was like telling us like you need to like forgive. Like they had a different mindset back then. All we can do is pray now.
And then when we went to the massacre site, Weatherwax explained what his grandmother had went through and how she had to hide from the soldiers and have 2 babies and keep them quiet, and how she survived through all that. And he sang Heavy Runner song, and that was very emotional for all of us to experience it, and just being there, it was incredible, and I would really recommend going.
The thing that mostly stood out to me was when he talked about his grandparents, like about in the cold weather, and she was like huddling his 2 children, her children, and trying to keep them warm and like trying to keep them from death and like traveling and all that.
Especially what added onto it was Mr. Weatherwax's story, because I mean in American history books it would gloss over that, like maybe not even mention it. I think hearing it from a perspective of the victim rather than the conqueror really puts some dignification behind it.